Perfect time. Make sure you sign in.
July.
We're live. All right, we're going to go ahead and call this public hearing to order October 14th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. It's actually 6:31. We'll call it to order. Invocation. Randy, y'all stand, please.
Father, we thank you for bringing us here safely today. We ask for your guidance and strength to make decisions that will make this city a better place for you. We ask all these things in your son's name.
Amen. We're going to do a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, number 3 on our agenda is announcements, number 4. Any announcements? I do have a couple that was handed to me a few minutes ago. Keep West Tawakoni beautiful. Fall cleanup will be this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 or until all dumpsters are full. You must show proof of residency. Trick or treat at the city park. Friday, October 31st, 6 to 9 p.m. Fire department will actually have it as well. If anyone would like to donate candy or treats for the kids, you may drop it off at City Hall or at the fire department. Any other announcements?
I got one for the plaza.
You want to do it here in the regular meeting? Do we have it?
I would do it.
Okay, I'll do it in regular.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just make sure we get you set up in there to. Anybody else with announcements? Okay, we'll move on to the public hearing. Public hearing for a replat 124 East Rabbit Cove, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description: A1351 Kelly Miss Laura Track B, acre 6.7, property ID 38963, zoned agricultural A. The request is to grant a replat into 2 lots. Any citizens input related to this? Any discussion from council?
No.
Okay. Move on to citizens input related to agenda items. No citizens input? Discussion or action to close the public hearing?
I make a motion to close public hearing.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second on the table?
Ted Shelby.
Randy Lindsay.
Chris Burkett?
Jake Shell.
James Ship. Public hearing will be closed. We will start back off with the regular meeting at 7 o'clock. All right, it's 7 o'clock. We're gonna call this regular session of the city council agenda to order. It's October 14th, 2025. First thing on our agenda is citizens input related to agenda items. Do we have any
I don't have any right now. Did anybody need to speak?
related to agenda items? Nothing? Okay. We'll move on. Number 4 is consent agenda items. Be A through
L.
L. Any discussion related to the consent agenda items? No discussion. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda item.
Got a motion. How about a second?
I'll second that.
We'll go with Chad.
Randy Lindsay.
Chris Burkett.
James Shem.
All passed. Move on. Number 4, new business. Discussion and or action to approve replat 124 East Rabbit Cove Road, West Tawakoni, Texas, 75474. Legal description A, 1351 Kelly Miss Laura Track B, acre 6.7, property ID 38963, zoned agricultural A. The request is to grant a replat into 2 lots. Any discussion regarding this?
Somebody can explain what this is,
So, Shannon, you want to go through a brief description?
So basically, they've got one big lot and they're splitting it into 2 still very decent sized lots. One has a house on it, one is just acreage. They're selling the house. They're just dividing the property into two parcels.
So the house will be on one side, the other one they can sell later, right?
Correct.
Okay.
One property will have access off of Maze, the other property where the house is will have access off of Rabbit Cove.
Is that yours or no?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Any discussion? No discussion. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Got an approval on the table.
I'll
Got a
second. I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Ted Joby.
Randy Lindsay.
Chris Burkett.
James Shem.
Motion passed. Moving on, B, discussion and or action to move November 11th regular scheduled meeting to November 12th due to Veterans Day. Legal holiday, we just want to move the regular monthly meeting to the 12th.
I'll make a motion that we move the November 11th meeting to November 12th.
Got a motion?
Secondly,
We got a second. All in favor?
Ted Joby.
Randy Lindsay.
Chris Burkett.
James Shem.
All pass. C, discussion regarding the retention of Kelly and Michael Gibbs for property located at 101 East Highway 276, property ID 23743. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Carrie, and that's my husband, Michael Gibbs. These are our friends and family. We're wanting to purchase a piece of land in West Tawakoni to open up a pool hall. There's several pool leagues in West Tawakoni, but we want to do a state-of-the-art high diamond tables. Diamonds are the ones that you use here. They can talk more about that. Not just a bar. We want a smoke-free, friendly, family-oriented environment where we can compete and lead. We're all members of American Pool Association and TAP. TAP is a kid-friendly league. These kids that are here are competing now in a pool league. We just wanted a safe, fun, family environment to where kids can come and play. Nikki's daughter had a scholarship to college for competing in pool. My mother's never seen my son play pool because she can't go to any of the bars because they're all smoking. We just want something to where people can come. We want to hire someone to teach the kids to, if they are interested, to help them develop the skills of. Pool is a hobby, but it's also a sport. People spend a lot of money on their pool sticks. It's not what you think when you just go to a bar and pick up a bar stick. I probably have $4,000 worth of pool sticks, you know, in my living room. He has more. They probably all have more. The diamond tables, the kid friendly. We have lost several pool teams in Hunt County to bars, Fast Eddie's, in Forney, Sulphur Springs, because we're not equipped with the proper tables. We compete and we go to tri-cups, and we never, at one point it used to be here, and now we're all going to Greenville. When we go to compete for the World Championship in Dallas, we're spending the weekend in Dallas, getting a hotel in Dallas, eating in Dallas, and we have some of the best pool players here in Hunt County. You know, they're based on skill levels. They've all competed nationally in Las Vegas, competing with teams all over the country, and we want to bring that back home here. There's so many pool players, and we're losing them because of the tables and the bars, and now with TAP being down here, we're able to bring kids into it. You know, not all kids play football or basketball. Some of them just, you know, they like it. It's competitive, but it's fun. Nikki, she wrote a letter. I want to read the letter that Nikki wrote. It says, "Good evening, council members. My name is Nikki Brown, and I'm a proud resident of West Tawakoni and the owner of Hunt and Hopkins APA, the local franchise of the American Pool Players Association, the largest and most recognized pool league in the world. Since 2008, I've had the privilege of running this league in Hunt County, West Tawakoni. Over the years, with what started with just 40 teams, has grown to 130 active teams in current session, a testament to the popularity of this league. Now, keep in mind, each team has 8 members, so I'm not good at math, but whatever times 8, that's a lot of pool players. But this growth hasn't come without challenges, and today I'm here to talk about an opportunity to bring a part of that success back home to West Tawakoni. Hunt County and Hopkins County APA isn't just about billiards, it's about building community. We provide a safe social outlet for adults of all ages to connect, compete, and create lifelong friendships through organized league play. Our players support local venues, promote fellowships, and increase traffic to small business. And that's very true to me. When I moved here in 2009, because our dad, you know, was sick, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. My dad gave me $100 bill and said, "Go buy a pool stick. I'm going to introduce you to Doug Johnson." I think everyone here learned how to play pool from Doug Johnson. And I joined a team, and these are now, I've known Nikki for 19 years. Sunday, I mean, these are all the people I, you know, become friends and family with from just my dad buying me a pool stick. Currently, we operate in a few West Tawakoni locations, Linda's Nook, Ambets, and American Legion, but due to limited space, outdated equipment, and overcrowding, we've had to move nearly all of our major tournaments, including triennials and world qualifiers, to Greenville and Sulphur Springs. With a new improved venue equipped with quality pool tables and adequate seating, West Tawakoni could once again become a central hub for APA events, including tournaments that draw dozens of teams and hundreds of visitors per event. These tournaments aren't just fun, they bring in tourism dollars. Players and their families eat at local restaurants, shop at local businesses, and support community establishments. It's a win-win for the economic development and local pride. We want to host regional tournaments. With that being said, that's 30 to 40 teams for each tournament. We also want to do Calcuttas. Right now, we're all going to Sulphur Springs, or we're going to Fast Eddie's. They do Calcuttas, and those are anywhere from 30 to 4 people every Saturday night. You know, we're not trying to hurt the local businesses here, because that's always going to be the fun, you know, pool tables. What we're trying to do is take it to the next level and competition and bringing all of those tournaments, the big tournaments. There's players that travel from Fort Worth all over to compete in these, but they only compete on diamond tables, and that's what we want here. We're seeking the council support in identifying and developing a venue that can meet the needs of this growing league, whether that's through partnering with local facilities, exploring funding opportunities for community space, supporting collaborative initiative for local businesses. West Tawakoni is where the journey began for me, and I'd love to see it become the centerpiece of our league again. With your support, we can make that happen and create a lasting social and economic value for our community. Thank you for your time, your service, and considering this opportunity. Respectfully, Nikki Brown. I'm going to have Amber. She is part of she's a league rep for the TAP. It's another association for pool, and that's the one where kids, and she's going to say a little bit about that.
Hi, thank y'all for having us today, and I really hope y'all consider this opportunity for the community and our younger. I'm not really good at this, I'm a little nervous.
You're fine, you're fine.
Just bear with me. I joined the pool community about 5 years ago to spend more time with my husband. He was playing pool, I wanted to see him more, so I grabbed the stick. I wasn't very good at it, I'm a little better now, but it was just family time. Over the years, I've grown amazing people that I would have never met unless I stepped in a pool hall. They've become family to us. They've become family and other parents to my kids. They take them under their wings. So the pool community for me is more about the family time that I'm getting to spend with my kids. With me being a rep for TAP, they're from ages of 4 all the way up to 80 playing TAP. Unfortunately, I don't want to bring my kids in a smoky environment. So this pool hall gives us that opportunity to be able to come out and teach them and spend extra hours of time that we wouldn't get in other facilities around here. Due to this, I feel like this will help bring this younger generation in doing stuff. They're not doing drugs. They're not out there starting fights. They're out there playing pool, competing at our levels. Lincoln, their son, whoops my butt on a pool table because he's been doing it since he was little. So these kids compete with us, and they want that opportunity. They want to be told I have to stay home because I can't go in that bar. This pool hall is the community. This year, Betty is growing operator for TAP in Forney, Canton, all over Tri-County. She wants to bring it this way. We kind of introduced it into Commerce area, but Hunt County is where she wants to bring her business to. This year, she hosted over 300 players in her events, and she wants to bring them here. She said that next year, hopefully we can have a place out here where she can host those events where kids can stay and play. She hosted anywhere from ages 10 to 80, like I said, this year, and those kids out there in their little cheer uniforms running from a football game to a pool table. It was really fun to see, and I'm excited for the future. The best part of pool over this last 5 or 6 months is we've raised over $5,000 with our tournaments for cancer patients, for animal shelters, children's families and parents when they're battling cancer as a child. That takes a toll on a home. And we've set in our pool community has come together and raised over $5,000 worth of money for them. We love the game, we love to compete, but most of all, we love our community and we want to grow and we need somewhere to grow big for those people.
So we have it on the agenda just as a discussion. It's 101 West, 101 Highway 276. What are you looking for from council?
Just before we buy the property, we'd like to know if y'all are open to that.
Okay.
So to be
You're gonna buy the
specific as
property,
to
so you don't
why-
have it yet?
No,
She has not bought it yet. She's
Oh.
wanting to make sure that it'll be a fit and get the city's input.
To be specific as to why they need your input, they will need a specific use permit to sell beer. The pool hall's not an issue, the beer would be the issue, and they don't wanna waste the money or the time if you're not gonna be open to considering this. That's the,
How big is this place?
how big? We're wanting to put anywhere from 12 to 15 diamond tables in there.
So you'll have beer and food also?
No, no food, just beer and wine. We don't really want it to be a bar, but we want the option if someone wants a beer, they can have a beer, or a glass of wine, or a Coke.
I'll make a motion to approve
So
it.
actually, it's not, it's just discussion. So it's open discussion, so opinions are all out there.
Will you have other kind of retail sales there?
Oh, yes, but I didn't read that. So yes, we will sell, right now, there's really nowhere you can go buy a pool stick or a glove or a chalk or, I mean, any of that. So, a friend of ours, he's a wholesaler for all of that. So right now, we get all of that from him, and he wants to sell his product. We want to have like,
We're gonna promote the sport.
yeah, so we want to have that. We'll have sales for that as well. Pool sticks and everything, and we can do rentals if people want to come in. You can rent the table by the hour. You can do the coin. We also want to have TVs everywhere. We want it just to be a fun environment for everybody. And like she said, I personally do 2 to 3 charity benefits just a year with poker. I work a lot with the local rescues, Texas Best Choice, and I would love to have our own place to where we lose a lot of people for the benefits that we do because they're smoking, and we have a lot of plans and a lot of ideas.
So you're just looking to see where council stands on it?
Yes.
I like that.
I think it'd be a good idea.
I think it's a good. How much money are you planning to invest in this?
A lot. One diamond table is about $9,000. So when I
got 300 set aside from a recent sale that we're looking to invest in this, and I've got a couple of investments.
Yeah, I like it actually. I
like
like it. It's good.
We have 2 businesses, and we just sold one of our business, so we're using the money from that to invest, because this is what we've wanted all along, and now with our son playing, and he's really good. Same with these kids, but we want them to.
There's some real superior talent right here locally that's been here for a long time, and when these people are allowed to get on good equipment, you're going to hear their name in Vegas and Atlantic City, right here from Tawakoni. And then you got like my son, these youngsters right here coming up, the second generation behind me. All these people are so good, and they're playing on the same stuff that we grew up playing on. And I'm from here, and I would like to see this generation over there and do what we could. And I can sit right here and be as good as they are here, because I'm doing what we go over there. But, I mean, it's a win-win, and what I like about it, there's so many kids sitting on their games today and not going out with their parents or with their friends, and this is a open environment to where it's not about how many buckets of beer you sell. It's about how many people you can pull from all communities to compete on a high level, on every level. Whether you're a skill level 2, you're playing in a good environment and you're being taught to play up. You got high skill level players that are willing to come here from Fort Worth, Billiards, Canton, all over East Texas, and they're willing to bring 8 to 10 of their best players and come down here for a weekend and play our best 10 players. So when you got 7 or 8 pool halls, all over coming for a weekend to do this, it's kind of a win-win now with streaming and everything online the way that it is. I mean, it gets blown up, and it's a real big thing.
This is the catfish capital of the state.
Yeah.
We can make it the food capital of the state.
Right. I think it has been the full capital. I think this is kind of a sport that's kind of been under the rug, but when you look at how many Nikki started it, I mean, she's got 143 teams, but she's lost a lot. Carlton's team had to pull out because his wife cannot be in cigarette smoke. She has an eye condition. I mean, we're losing so many of our top players and top teams just because, and it's nothing against the other bars. We love them, we support them, everything, but we have to have the equipment. We have to have the diamond tables, because when we go to Las Vegas to compete, we're used to these coin operated tables. But when we get to Vegas and we're competing in the World Championship, we're getting our butts kicked because we don't get to practice and shoot on these quality of tables.
How many tables you guys gonna try to do?
I think 12 to 15.
That
That way we can host APA and TAP all on the same night.
It's big enough to hold the events, but it's also big enough to, on a weekly basis, there's league nights throughout the week. So now them to leave out, say, for instance, I'll use the Nook as an example, they have 6 tables. Well, that's gonna take up all the tables. So anybody else that's in there who wants to play pool, they don't get to play pool. This is the type of environment to where it's big enough, there's enough equipment there to where you can still have APA over here. You can even have tap on this side, and there's still 4 or 5 tables free for people who want to come in and practice. So it's always, there's nothing but pool going. I mean, it's big enough to accommodate, everyone.
The best example I can think to give y'all of what they're trying to do would be speeds. If anybody's ever seen a speed, that's kind of the idea.
Well, it sounds like you have the council's backing.
Well, thank you.
We look forward to seeing the new business and the ambition and
the beer.
The beer. We will have the beer.
Get the beer.
Are y'all looking at the Texas Swing building? Is that what y'all talking about?
no, it's next door to the dollar store.
Building.
Next door to the dollar store.
Okay.
I know, I was
Got it.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and move on so we can keep the meeting going. Thank you guys for doing that with us.
Thank you for your approval.
Moving on, D, discussion on presentation from Bob Matthews with All American Dogs to propose adding code enforcement to the current service agreement. James, it has you, but is Bob Matthews here? Oh, there you are. Bob, you'll step up to the podium, that way you're next to a microphone and
Yes, sir.
we'll
I'm not
hear
sure
what
if
you
I
have to say.
need a mic, but my name is Bob Matthews. I'm the owner of All American. You guys see the trucks driving around for the animal control stuff. Started that in late 2006. Then in 2009, we were approached by some cities to do some code enforcement. And so I went and got certified, figured out how to do it. And then over the years, we currently have 7 cities currently under contract right now. And so you guys would be number 8. I have a dedicated person and a dedicated vehicle that's marked up as code enforcement on it. But let's talk about what code enforcement is, because everyone thinks it's like an evil, dark thing. And if you were ever to get a citation from us, it means you ignored everything. Verbal warnings, written warnings, and you're just not wanting to do it. And our biggest thing is we want to over communicate. We want to get to know the properties, because a lot of times the folks where the properties are overgrown, they don't live here. They live in a different state, some in a different country. And you got to figure out who's managing the land. You got to build your database so you can get to those people. Because roughly 90% of the people are going to respond when you make contact with them, whether it's trash and debris, tall grass and weeds, no matter what the infraction is. Roughly 90% are going to respond in a positive manner. You're going to have 10% that are going to be your issue. And oftentimes there are the properties where there's absentee owners, or it's the same people that the police deal with on a regular basis. It's going to be that category of folks. And as much as we want to be nice, we want to give the warnings, we want to talk and work. At some point, there's obviously a carrot, but the stick is a citation if you have to as a last resort. So let me walk through a typical process. If we were to engage you for, let's just hypothetically say, tall grass and weeds. We're going to knock on your door. We're going to try to make contact with the homeowner. We're going to come to City Hall and go, hey, do you know who lives here? Do you have, whether it's water bill, trash bill, whether it's whatever it is. So, because a lot of times there's a lot of legacy information at City Hall, and you'll know who's there, and you'll know their phone numbers, so we can reach out to them. And then we got to see what's going on. Is their mower broke? Are they just having a hard time? Are they on a fixed income and elderly? Figure out what's going on. And if it's one of the latter things I just said, where it's someone who's older, who's having a challenge, whether it's with a mower or just physically can't do it, that's when we engage church groups. I own quite a bit of commercial lawn equipment because I maintain my home out in the country, and also the shelter's on 12 acres, so we maintain that as well. So I've pitched in on the weekends with my boys. Boy now, because the other one he's a Marine now in South Carolina. So he comes and goes about every 3 months. But my 16-year-old is still here, and he can run the 0-turn Y weed whack. And so if you have someone that's in that category that just needs help, I'm going to help them versus write them a ticket, because there's no point in that. It's not their fault that they can't do it. But when you have properties that are owned that are more commercial type properties, if we can't figure out who the property management is, then the warning goes through certified mail. regular mail, and then the citation will go both certified and regular mail, so we can get them to come to court. Now we work closely with your court clerk because we're going to have a very good. That's a required relationship because we can go out and we can communicate, we can warn, and we can cite, but then it needs to come into the court where the judge can abate it, and that's kind of a typical process. Now let's talk about the package you have in front of you. I know I was contacted last year and I gave a similar package, but this is our base it's 5 hours a week. And what does that mean? Everyone goes 5 hours. What does that mean? Well, it's basically 3 hours in the field and roughly 2 hours of administrative, which could be FileMaker, which is our database. It could be court. It could be a whole myriad of things that we do. So 3 hours of identifying properties and then starting the warning, citation, follow-up process, working with City Hall. And that's where that comes from. If you need more time, in a town the size of West Tawakoni, in the beginning you might, maybe, but typically that's enough time to do the basic code stuff. Now, if you want to start getting into like substandard structures, that's a much more time-intensive process, and that's where we may have to put some extra hours aside for doing something like that. That also will require feed in from your city attorney, because they're going to have a very specific process that they want us to. We've done it before, so we know the base process, but maybe she'll have something different for us, or something not different, extra, where you're not just posting it in the ground, you're not just putting it in the paper, you're not doing the extra hearings. Maybe she'll have something extra you want me to do, or want us to do. Brandon, the guy who does my code enforcement, I've known him for 16 years, and he's a great guy. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and you'll enjoy being around Brandon because he's a good dude. And we're community based. We want to work with people. We want to help them fix their issues. And also, if you have a property where it's taken them 15 years to get it rough, well, it's not going to take a week to get it unrough. And we have to work with those folks in a staged manner where they show weekly progress, where they work to fix it. And as long as they're doing that, we're going to work with them, and we're going to do everything we can to help them. Whether it's helping them come up with screening ideas of privacy fencing within the ordinance of the city. There's lots of different ideas that you can engage to help people, and we've learned them by doing this since 2009. And so it can be helpful, and that's all we wish to be. I started All American Dogs because I was asked to help some police departments that needed help, and that grew into now we're helping over 40 departments in 9 counties. I have 18 employees. And it's because I wanted to help communities, wanted to help law enforcement, wanted to help city halls. That's how this started. Because my original business plan wasn't to do animal control. It was boarding, training, that kind of stuff. Because on paper, those numbers look better, but when things change, they change. And so, but again, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. And that's all I wish to do.
I believe everybody got a copy of their proposal. It is set on the agenda just as discussion because we would need to go back and look at all kinds of things with budget amendments and all that. But wanted to give him a chance to speak. Y'all have the application if you have questions, or not application, but proposal if you have questions for him.
I need a copy of it.
Yes.
I have some questions. So what are the cities where you do this?
The ones that are local to you would be like Cattle Mills, would be New Hope, Lowry Crossing. Those are the ones that are the closest to you, and you would be part of that when we would add you to that program. Where so it would probably be on the same. You'd be on the Cattle Mill. You and Cattle Mills would be on the same day.
Okay. So your contract says, it's a 5-year contract.
Mm-hmm. With a 30-day out, which is really important.
That's what I'm getting at. So 30-day out. Mm-hmm. So no, you don't have to give you a reason. We can just cancel for no reason, right?
Yeah, and same goes with me. If you don't like me for something one day, which that'll never happen, okay. You're gonna like us, and we're gonna do a good job.
No, yeah,
and so, but sometimes things happen, and sometimes it's okay. I'm here to be helpful, and also I've only had to quit one city because there was some stuff going on, and I quit just so I wouldn't get in trouble. And so, but that's only happened one time in all the years I've done this.
So how do you interface with Shannon?
depend on the parameters you set up for me. So our goal is to work with whoever our liaison is, whether it's Shannon, doesn't matter who it is, whether it's police chief. And a lot of cities, it's a chief or they designate an officer or a council member to be our direct liaison. So if they have community issues or they see stuff on Facebook or social media, they'll bring it to our attention because we don't look at social media. I do not look at it. I will not look at it. I don't want to look at it. That's a place where just a lot of rough things are said, and we don't need to be there. But if something comes to your attention, then we will address it and go on. We want to work with the folks who have the pulse of the city, and obviously we drive around. West Tawakoni is not a massive place. We can drive it, and we're gonna look at stuff that one there's low hanging fruit. You have junk vehicles, you have tall grass and weeds. That's easy. You have trash and debris piles. Sometimes you have limbs that come down a storm or trees that come down a storm, so you work with the folks. But again, the bottom line is we're going to work with everyone, whether it's at City Hall, with the residents, with the PD, because there's some places we're going to need PD. Because when we get there, they're not going to like the fact that we're there. And so doing code enforcement is dangerous. The code enforcement officers are assaulted all the time, every month. I've been threatened multiple times to get killed. And so it is what it is. It's part of the job. And so, sorry.
So your fee is $795 a month, right?
$795. That includes the 5 hours per week.
So is there a possibility that we can break even? You know, we get more money from citations and things like that, or?
I always try to have councils or anybody that I don't want you in that mind frame, because this is not about revenue. Code enforcement is about raising the quality of life in the city, and it's about making it a better place to be. I really don't like the idea of citations for a revenue stream. So, but that being said, if you have a bunch of folks who aren't listening and just won't listen to anybody for any reason, yeah, make money. But that's not our goal. It's not what I want. I want us to be able to communicate, to get to know the people, get to know all the property owners, and build our database like we have in all of our other cities, where if there's an issue, we know who to get a hold of to get it fixed. Now, 5% of the population, 5% of the issues are going to need the stick approach, because 5% just don't care. And that's just the numbers, and that's why guys like me and the cops have jobs, because of that 5% of people.
I think what Ben meant is not so much about revenue, as he is offsetting our labor. I've never, in every city we've been to, if you look at the expense of having someone there full time or even part time, we're less expensive. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, I'm going to be less expensive than hiring somebody. So that's just because we couple it. I have a guy in the field. I help share his expense through multiple cities, and that's how we do it, by being efficient. And like I said, he's a close personal friend of mine, so he uses to make extra money for him and his family, so I can travel and do things.
That's what I was getting at too. You know, we have a position budgeted for it.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably come out 1/3 of it or something. You know, significantly lower than what we would.
Yeah, and I know Shannon's here, and that's not my big thing. Is I'm here to help, and if I can help, I'd love to. And again, every city who wants to start code enforcement, I'm the most economical version of doing it, because you're not paying the medical. There's lots of reasons we're less expensive, and whether it's a vehicle, whether it's fuel, whether it's insurance, all of those things. So same thing with animal control. There's a reason that we're a better fiscal entity than you guys doing animal control, because you have to get a facility, you have to get the insurance, you have to be able to man the facility, you have to man a truck, get a truck, maintain the truck, and so we do it on scale. The first 6 years of having All American Dogs, I didn't make a penny. I didn't have a single paycheck. I knocked down trees, I brushed hog fields, I did other things to make money. Once we scaled up, that's where it worked out a little better for me. But you're never going to get rich being in the dog world. That's not how you make. I also do concrete and build metal buildings. So I do a lot of different things to be successful and to make All American what it is. So I'm just stubborn. I don't know how to quit.
How many additional hours do you guys normally get in a month?
No, none, unless you ask for it. You're never going to get a bill from me without knowing way ahead of time, and it's usually going to be around like a special project. Like, for example, if we're doing substandard structures, stuff like that, and you will know well ahead of time that, hey, we're gonna run over.
It would seem that when you start,
Mhm.
that you're kind of needing to catch up. Is there usually more hours in the first month or so?
When we get here, maybe. But also, when we start doing our code enforcement, we don't want people to come at you with pitchforks and daggers. So, because you're the one that's going to get the pressure. So if we're doing our job, if I'm doing my job well, you're going to have a group of folks that are frustrated because they don't want people telling them what to do, how to mow, why can't I have my stack of tires there? Why can't I have 19 mowers in my front yard? I mean, why can't I use a toilet as a flower pot? I've had people do crazy things over the years, and so it is what it is. So, but if you want to hammer hard, I'll put a program together and we'll do it. But normally we like to get in, start getting to know people, and you probably know off the top of your head your top 10 problem folks or properties, and you're gonna go, Bob, these go, and those are the first ones we're gonna work on. Also, the main drag. You have a beautiful you have a main drag right here that is very visual. So we're going to focus on the low hanging fruit and get that knocked out. Then we start working on and start spreading it out. Also, if you wanted more code enforcement, I've had cities do a 10-hour package, and that's $14.90. So if you wanted more, well, I'll have to do the math later, but I think it was $14.90. If you wanted to do a full day of code a week, we can do that. And it's just double the amount of code, double the amount of everything. And so if you wanted to go that route, we could do that as well. But the biggest thing is we're here to help you guys. We're here to work with your residents and make your city look better, and to make it to where it's a place you want to be. So, and anytime you have a city that's transitioning from a small town country into where you're wanting more code enforcement, law enforcement, things of that nature, we're part of that transition. So.
Anything else, guys?
But I like what he's saying. This one says, there's
So
no motion
it is,
or anything
no.
like that, right?
The way we did this is just set it up for discussion. We wanted to hear his presentation. We need to take this into a workshop so that we can look at what he's got to present, what we want out of him, what we've already got budgeted, what we've got planned. We put together a plan to hire somebody, so we don't want to just jump. We want to actually take a workshop where we can have an open discussion and look at everything in regards to it. So if y'all want to move forward, I think our second one that we do in the month, we can split it half workshop and half agenda. So we can put this on that workshop so we can open discuss it and be able to look at everything that we've already put on the table, and all that.
So when is that actually?
So our next meeting would be 28th.
28th.
And we'll just split that as a workshop. And if we have open items that we need a regular meeting out of it, then we're set that we can do that as well. So that's what y'all want to do moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll put that on the agenda.
Guys, thank you for your time. I
Appreciate your
y'all.
time, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. E is discussion and our action to review city administrator applications. Being that this is personnel, we have the potential to move into executive session, which I recommend we do. If you guys are good with that, we're going to step in the back for executive session. What do we have, 17 applications?
20.
20?
21 withdrew. 19.
Yes.
Okay, so it's gonna take us a few minutes, but we're gonna go through these and kind of put a plan together, and we'll be back out. Pause. our regular meeting at 8:03. We left. Is that on, right?
Is blue light?
Yeah.
It's voting. Okay, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, back to the regular meeting. So discussion or action to review the city administrator applications. Do we have a motion?
We do. I make a motion that, I will, along with the mayor, we will do our first round of interviews with, the set of candidates that we have identified. But we're not gonna release any names at this point.
I got a motion on the table.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Ted Shelby.
Ramsey Lindsay?
Chris Burkett?
Gibson.
Mary, I'll work with you to start setting up how we're gonna do that time-wise and all that. Okay. All right, moving on down the agenda, F, discussion and or action to draft an ordinance requiring all new street construction within the city of West Tawakoni and the ETJ shall be Portland concrete or cement concrete pavement. Curbs and gutters in accordance with the latest edition of the NCTCOG Public Works Construction Standards and the Text Dot Standard specifications. Asphalt, chip seal, or other flex fit pavement sections shall not be permitted for new subdivision streets. Ramsey Lindsay.
This gonna be a change to our zoning ordinance.
That we're currently working on.
Okay.
So this is something that would need to go in the new zoning and the subdivision ordinances, which we're currently working on producing new ones.
So we need to, what we would be doing is, I did not mean to jump in. I just want to make sure I'm telling y'all right. Okay. So what we would need to do is if they were gonna go forward with this, whatever's gonna be presented is they would be instructing Jacob and Martin doing, or
It's,
the new zoning. Huh?
Public management.
Thank
Yes.
you. I always
Sorry.
reverse them. They
Me
work
too.
very closely together, so. But public management to make those changes in the new ordinances that we have not yet seen all of the completed ones, but we want them to make that amendment in advance.
Yes. And we can only address that particular amendment. Like we can't address one thing.
It's not on the agenda.
Don't worry, I'll have one that'll go with this soon. But I think the maintenance cost for concrete is fraction of what it is for the other types of surfaces. And we're gonna get the cost of maintaining those roads, and so I think we deal with it now. We get good roads at the beginning, rather than a cheaper road in the beginning and passing that increased maintenance cost to the taxpayer. And so I had suggested that we follow those, rather than us maintain a set of standards, that we follow the NTC.
North Central Texas law.
Yeah.
So we would so what you want to do is just follow what they are proposing, and that's gonna cause some kind of shifting. Where it would be, if they change their regulations and requirements, then we would basically be shifting with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that way we're always current with the requirements.
Okay, so we have it on here, discussion and or action. So
What's the cost of it for somebody to install the concrete?
For installing the
Yeah,
concrete,
versus something else.
you know, I am not sure what the cost is to put it in. Not sure.
The maintenance costs will be anywhere from $30 to $50 a foot, which
Ma-
is,
Yeah, your maintenance, I did research the maintenance cost Concrete over a 30-year period is about $40,000 a mile. Chip seal is $239,000 a mile. Asphalt is $569,000 a mile. So you compare concrete to say, well, concrete, chip seal costs 4 times as much, or really 5 times as much to maintain. And asphalt costs 10 times as much to maintain as a concrete.
What are they doing with
And
it?
what'll happen is, Chad, when the developers put that, they're gonna build that cost into the cost of the home that they're gonna sell. And the typical buyer on that is gonna take that out in a mortgage, and it may add, I rented it at 7% on a 30-year mortgage, and it may up the mortgage cost by, say, $50 a month.
So
Yeah.
what do we need curb and gutter? It's not required in every place, you know? Some places you need it, some places you don't.
Yeah,
I think you can take.
so Shenandoah has been raised as an example of problem concrete street. And if you take a look at that, it doesn't have curb. And so the water is able to just run right over and sit on the road. And it'll eventually it'll soak through the expansion joints and through any kind of cracks in the surface. And so you want to keep as much of that water off the road as you can, and that's the point of the curb and gutter. And you know, if you want to emulate what successful cities are doing, you don't see a successful city saying, "Sure, wait, you can put in a more chip seal road," or "Sure, you can do that, and we'll trust the HOA and maintain that road 10 years from now." So I'm just saying, every time we allow one of these other services here, what we're doing is we're guaranteeing our taxpayers a bigger tax bill down the road.
I agree actually about the concrete side of it, but
I can
I was just
tell
talking
you-
only about the curb and gutter, you know? It's not
You can
required.
talk about, you said something about curb and gutter, but that's on this.
So our planning and zoning really, really is pushing for concrete streets and curb and gutter also.
That's y'all's call. It's pretty normal to do that for new subdivisions.
And it would be for new subdivisions. It's not, don't know if we can implement it into current roads, but it wouldn't be necessarily for the current roads. It would be anything
They'd
new.
just basically
in a-
be,
in a
by the time the
subdivision,
ordinance
I can
is done,
see
any new subdivisions coming in at that point.
Yeah, in a subdivision I can see it, but not on a regular street.
So
you
it'd
know?
be kind of like,
No,
which they
couldn't do
didn't
that.
do, I don't think they did curb and gutter, but they did do concrete streets, and that's okay.
Subdivisions, yeah.
There's a lot of concrete that's been laid over there.
A
But
lot.
it's really nice.
And it's, this one is for subdivision.
Mhm.
So this is just, yeah,
But
maybe
this,
it's curb and gutter for subdivisions, but not everywhere else.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at
Yeah,
in subdivisions.
It doesn't say that, does it?
It is. It's
Yeah,
very
just saying, I'm on new subdivisions,
Look over the next
All
page.
new streets constructed within the city of West Tawakoni.
Look at the next
It
page.
doesn't say subdivision.
It's right there.
well,
That's all.
It's right, right
yeah,
there at
new
the top.
streets.
Keep reading.
it's the very last sentence on the top paragraph.
Okay.
But this helps because I do have a special session with PNC tomorrow because we are going over subdivisions and zoning to see. We have this published for public hearing coming up in November for them to recommend, and then it'll start coming to you guys. And then after you guys go through it, then we'll be publishing for you guys to adopt it. And then it will be, our goal is to have it in effect by January 1st.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Okay.
So this would actually be kind of beneficial to my meeting tomorrow night, actually.
So it's open for discussion or an action. We want to make a motion to approve to have an ordinance drafted.
I'll make a motion that we approve drafting an ordinance requiring
really drafting an ordinance, or we're just instructing public management to do it, to add it?
Would we not just be putting this in the one we're working on
Correct.
currently?
I don't know.
Okay.
Could we, if we did an ordinance, would that be in place? Could we get that in place sooner?
We have to do
And then we do the,
We don't want to do it that way. It'll cost us more money to do it. Plus, we've got a bunch of publications.
yes.
They're gonna
because it's
handle
zoning.
all of that for us all at once.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, so we really want, were I you, I'd be making a motion to say instruct public management to include this and make that change in the zoning regulations they're working on.
I think
I
it's,
think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we instruct public, management to include this in the new zoning.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Ted Covey?
Randy Lindsay.
Chris Burkett.
Yes.
Nice. Moving on to G, discussion and or action to adopt STR/HOT implementations project plan, outline the timeline, milestones, and responsibilities for ensuring the short-term rental ordinance number 333-8.12.2025 and collecting hotel occupancy tax revenue. Ramsey Lindsay.
so what I gave you guys a few minutes ago is the application that I put together for them. We've actually had one potential Airbnb, take the application, and she's in the process of filling it out. So now the process is to locate the existing one, we've got to locate them.
And how are we gonna go about doing that?
Look them up on Airbnb
They give you a list.
I mean, that's what I would do, is look them up on Airbnb.
and VRBO.
I think, I did this once before, I think I found 6, but I think, didn't you say there was a lot more than 6 in our city, you thought?
Yeah, I found, something like, and the math is kind of funny, and some of them will be right in the heart of West Tawakoni.
Yes, and some of them are in county, yes.
Say Quinlan. But I was able to get into the Airbnb city portal,
Okay,
and that's where they claim that they will give us a lot of supporting data. But I've not been able to find any supporting data yet, so I've got a ticket open with their support people.
okay.
Because we should, at least I understand, that we should be able to get rental history,
Mhm.
so we can audit.
What should have been taken in.
Yeah, what should have been taken in.
Get it for the zip code, and that was,
So if you
Yeah,
want to
figure out which
get,
house it is. Or
if you
the,
want to get together with me, we can start digging into Airbnb.
Yeah, I'd be
And then I
glad to
can
do
send
that.
notices out to them, start with a notice saying, hey, you need to register your Airbnb with the city, you have this much time, or there will be a fine implemented, blah, blah, blah.
So, let me give you this, I laid out what I thought
I
would
don't
be,
know if it is good or not.
I kind of made just a rough sketch of a project plan. The things that I'm thinking that we're gonna need to do to get this where we can start collecting this by, say, January. We've already got some of this stuff in place. But the account for the revenue, that's already in place. The draft form is already in place. I assume that, the council, are we gonna have to approve those forms? Is that?
Y'all don't usually, no.
Okay. We'll have to put some notices on the website.
Yeah, a lot of cities actually have a section on their website dedicated strictly
Yeah.
to this. And some of them were really neat and their applications kind of worked into it. I pulled several cities' applications and combined some things and added some that I thought we needed in there, and that's how we have this one.
Yeah, and there
So feel free to add.
there are some guidelines, in that, city portal or not really guidelines, but suggestions of things to include, that are kind of helpful, and we can look at those. You know, announcements, registration, that kind of thing.
Announce it and get it online so that you can send out a letter to everybody, like maybe target November 1st as much as possible so that you've got, start, on January 1, if you've got, you need to make sure you've listed it, but you'll have a link. You can give them like a link to it, and so they can say they can go online, find the form here, but you've got your first notice out the door.
Airbnb should join and add the ones that are to send the text automatically.
What's that?
When somebody books online, this should automatically, they pay the tax. It's all included in that certain.
Yeah, they should pull the comptrollers, the
Yeah,
compact.
and it should, but we need to also make sure the ones that say Quinlan come to here.
Now, I had also sent, to the state, to the comptroller's office, to an open records request to see what they're collecting in this area, and I've got zero response.
They told me it's right in there. It's correct in their records. It's not their issue. That's
I guess it is not correct. Yeah. Okay, well, I really what I was looking for is to have some kind of a plan and look at the, set out what those steps are and assign some dates to them so we can.
If you want to call me in the morning, also decide to get with you and start sorting it out.
Okay.
Because you've dug into this a lot more than I have. So.
And I don't think it's something that I don't think we need to sit and worry over the dates and milestones here, but just so that we can get that.
this process.
Yeah.
So at this time, there's no action taken?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So we'll move on to H, discussion and or action to review update given from Jacob and Martin regarding current grant projects and future funding needs within the city. Ramsey Lindsay.
And I really kind of wanted to talk to Christie. So if she had sent some.
Everybody has a copy of 2 emails that she sent that kind of break down a little bit of what she's done or a little bit of where we're at.
Yeah, what I was looking for was some guidance as to what ifs they have put out and what projects that they think would be most beneficial for us to tackle, particularly with the water and sewer, since we've got some money to tackle the project. That's what I wanted to see, because I didn't want to go out and us make a move on our own and step on something, pay for something that they were going to be able to get a grant for. And so I still think there needs to be some conversation to make sure that we're not,
Sure.
stepping on each other.
So I've spoken with Christy a couple times on this. She did give us like a top priority of something that we could spend some of that additional money that we see for the intake pump that we wanted to try to get on the grant, but there was not enough grant money to give for this. So if we have the extra money, then that would be number 1 priority. Out on top of that, the vendor ordered that second pump unintentionally, but because of that would honor the same price. So Christy's working out the details of what that would look like for what we would need to pay and make sure all of the boxes are checked. But she wanted some approval from council if that's the project we want to go ahead and do while he's already got that pump ordered. And that would be the best time to get that in because he's already out there installing one. You can install the second one. Yeah. And then the PIFs she had put in were for the water line on Arrowhead. Then I'm almost positive the other one was for the meters. But she is following on the PIF, she is following the comp plan to a T. So however we adopted the comp plan, she is going in priority order from there.
And I understand that now, because I thought that there was a list of those projects that might be tackled as funding came available for the project, not necessarily that they were listed in order of importance. But if I understand, they're listed in order of importance.
Right.
Okay. So that helps. And she did say that they have something out for the meters. So that if we may be able to we can get some grant money or low cost funding, we could leverage some of our money. And get those radio operated.
Okay.
So the meters just for the Arrowhead?
No, everywhere.
No, we want the meters for I think we need the meters for the
Entire
city.
city.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody on the system.
The first set of work orders that I looked at, I put them in a spreadsheet, and 44% of the work orders for that month was related to reading meters, turning on and turning off, or turning off and turning back on service. 44% of it. And a great deal of that goes away with those, not all of it, but a lot of it goes away with the radio.
Yeah. For sure, knock it in half.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just
No,
Right.
more than that.
And I pulled out some information from our budget and from the comp plan, and I sent it to a couple of guys that happened to be in here one day when I came in from Ferguson Waterworks, and they're going to put together a study that will show what our return on investment will be.
Okay.
Based on reduced water loss, labor costs, transportation costs, all those things. I got that stuff to him 10 days ago, and there was someone else in their office that does those calculations. So they'll get back with him pretty soon. He's been very persistent about staying in touch.
So then looking at that one, there's no action either?
Other than if y'all want to say yes or no on that pump.
Yes, that's not really,
Move forward with it.
that's not really on the agenda for
So
that.
that's kind of where I wasn't sure, but I told her I would try. Not
Can we
say we'll look at it.
can we move that to our next meeting?
Yes.
But just specifically for the pump, put on the next one.
Yes.
And then I'll have some more information on it.
So for our next meeting, yes. Okay. All right, so no action required on I. So number 5 is future agenda items. We've already picked up 2.
Oh, wait, skip that.
You skipped that.
That was H.
Oh, sorry. I, discussing interaction on scheduling performance reviews with department heads. James.
You've been talking about it for a long time,
Just
2
need
months.
to schedule it.
When can we schedule? You schedule it. Can you schedule it? Or you
I mean,
want
I
to-
can, but I need you and Greg to kind of come together on what y'all want to do and then schedule. We're all here Monday through Friday.
Well, we have a form to fill out,
So you want, are
You
you
and I-
wanting the department heads to fill this form out first?
Yeah, let them fill it out first, bring it, and then when we do the reviews, we'll make some changes. You make your own self-assessment as to where you fall. You say meet the requirements, below the requirements, higher, put that in there, then we'll come in. That's how you always did it, Then we'll come in and say, we don't agree with it. And this
So
is
everybody's ready whenever y'all are. I've been waiting on y'all to kind of get together to figure out when y'all can.
So will you,
I think, we talked about having 1 or 2 people.
It was you and Greg.
yeah, so
Yeah,
if you
so-
would maybe
I'm ready.
create an email between the 2 of them, yourself, JD, PD, and start trying to pick out some times when everybody's available.
Let's do it in the next, rest of this week and next week.
Good.
Making a motion or no?
Need to make a motion on that, yep, the way it's written.
So I make a motion to complete the performance reviews of all of the department heads by the end of next week. And the department's heads should be preparing the performance review documents in advance of the meetings.
What are they gonna be used for?
Hmm?
Like, what are they gonna be used for?
What's going to be used
Like,
for?
yeah, so what they doing, like, what do you use it for?
Every accountability is a good thing, If you don't ask people what they are doing, remember the Elon Musk thing, You send out, tell us what you did last week. I can't tell what I did last week. What did you do last year? I don't know. So when you start asking questions, things improve. That's all we are trying to do. So we want to know what you're doing. If you're saying, okay, at the end of the year, you're saying that, okay, well, I did 2 projects in the last 365 days. We said that's not enough. We'll have to see what kind of projects they are. So it's just accountability, bringing accountability into this city. We never had anybody ask, what have you done? Nobody knows. That's a pathetic place to be in. So you gotta have it.
So I have a motion,
Yeah, we have a motion.
a second. I got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Let's go.
Okay,
James, yeah.
good. Okay. Now, moving to number 5, future agenda items.
I have one I sent you.
Harvey, one. I would ask that when we're doing these and we're looking, I've seen some stuff, let's look at whether it needs to be an agenda item or a workshop item. To be able to sit down and look at some different ideas and options instead of getting up here and kind of being locked in. So when you're giving these recommendations, think about if it's something that we can make a decision on here, or if we need to look at a broad aspect of what it would entail. So,
And can I add to that?
Yep.
If some of them are just like general questions and answers for staff members, just shoot us an email. We're all open books, so it doesn't have, unless you feel like it needs to have a vote or a major discussion, we're always able to answer questions, have time set aside for anything.
Okay, give me a little guidance here. I want to come right back and talk about having our zoning alleys to take those trucks off of the streets. Is that something that we would do in a workshop better than here?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to put that on an agenda for a workshop?
Yeah, let's do it in a workshop.
But I would suggest too, even before you want to put it on a workshop, give Mary, give Shannon, somebody a heads up about what you want to talk about, because it may be that it's like where we're going to have to change some things on the zoning that project management's going to do. We want to know in advance what that might entail. So if you'll give them a heads up, we can get some feedback before you get into that meeting.
And if we haven't already started something along those
Right.
lines.
And not just that, just to make sure we're bringing the data to the table and we actually know some of the different avenues and all that we want to look at. So,
I don't have anything at this point.
Rabbit Cove.
Yeah.
You want to look at that? You want to look at?
Right, that is a workshop item.
Okay.
So some of the citizens have complained that if there is a flooding event or something, the Rabbit Cove Road becomes impossible. It has never happened, I believe, but it can be. So they were saying that if there's a way for us to connect 276 to the Banner addition,
Or
that
just
would be a good
anywhere
thing,
back there.
right?
Yes. So it'd be a great place for a workshop to sit down and look at ideas and options on how to tie in the west side of the city to rabbit code, so
So that's the workshop item, right?
that is.
Right.
But that's what we want to make sure, that's what this is on the agenda for, so if you want to get that, that's what we want to make sure we're getting to Mary at this time, so. All right, so anything else? All right. So citizens input, so the way this is written, JD didn't get a chance up front, so I guess you get to do it under citizens input.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, brother. JD has something that he wants to go over with all of us.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
The Tawakoni Plaza Waterline project was finished ahead of schedule. We wrapped it up in just 7 days and came in $7,758.73 under budget. That's something worth celebrating. It shows what can be done when planning, teamwork, and pride in our work all come together. I want to give a big thanks to our crew and Grady. They're the ones who made this happen. They were out there early mornings working through the heat and the mess, making sure everything was done right. Not just fast, but right. That kind of work ethic is what keeps the city moving forward. Now, I know there's a few folks who didn't think we could pull this off. Thought it'd drag out, go over budget, or hit every snag along the way, but this proved what can happen when you got a team that knows their job, takes pride in it, and refuses to quit until it's done right. The results speak for themselves. Too often, those guys don't get the recognition they deserve. But every inch of pipe in the ground, every valve and connection, that's their sweat and skill. This project shows the pride they take in what they do and how much they care about this community. It's easy to talk about progress in meetings like this, but it's the people with the boots on the ground who make the progress real. So again, I just want to say thank you to the crew for their hard work, their teamwork, and their commitment to doing the job right. Good job.
How much under budget were we?
$7,758.
Very nice.
Under, right?
Under budget.
Under, right.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
we're proud of
your
you, man.
team, Grady, everybody. Guys, that's what it's gonna take to move this city forward. We don't have all the money in the world. Sometimes sitting down, thinking outside the box, figuring out the best way to do something. We said when we started that project, we was either gonna succeed together as a team or we was gonna fail as a team. It's gonna take more of that to continue to move us forward. I want to thank you guys for what y'all did. Great work. Make sure Grady gets a big thank you from all of us as well.
Jerry, you're proud of him, and you did a good job so fast and without any prior experience doing that, right? When you're done.
I have
Just
Not of this scale, right? But it's something that people said, it is difficult. So, but thank you. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for stepping up. Like,
any other citizens input? With that, number
they're all
7.
looking at you every time.
John, you get that there?
She's our biggest fan.
All right, number 7, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a
Motion
motion to
to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Oh, wait, okay. All right, you got two first, two seconds.
That was a scary.
Pretty close.
I got first. He's
All right,
got
Chad got first.
Chad Jacoby, Chris Burkett.
Same.
What's this?
Where's Greg?
Greg's on a plane somewhere.
He's somewhere
He
between
said hi
DFW
in
and
his
here.
text.
Okay.